Welcome to this presentation about Nigeria, a market we have been investigating. Um, we have explored the differences between Nigeria and the US. As you can see, there's a much power distance between Nigeria and the US. It's 80 in the case of Nigeria. That's because um, the US is a much egalitarian society. In Nigeria, education, um, rank, or economic power are much more appreciated, um, and that's one of the results. Uh, the other one is individualism. In the US, it's much higher. The American citizen tends to worry more about its family and itself, and in Nigeria, citizens tend to belong to tribes and ethnic groups. There are more than there are almost 400 ethnic groups, more than 500 languages, and that's why you could understand why this society tends to be more collective type of society. Both societies are very masculine. They tend to appreciate heroic actions, and they're very competitive. Uh, Nigeria has a certain degree uh, of more uncertainty to avoidance, and I'll explain it later. And then the US has a better sense of long-term orientation, although it's not its greatest strength. But it's important to note that Nigerians will tend to be um, more direct negotiators, and they will tend to check data more and obtain quick results. They will not be as patient during negotiations or at the time of doing business. And then indulgence. Um, Nigerian society is more indulgent. This means they like taking some time off, having more fun um, than Americans do, and that will have to be taken into consideration as well. Um, well, I've explained everything here a bit better. Um, Nigeria is a bit more afraid to uncertainty and avoidance, and this will make the society uh, a bit more afraid of changing code of beliefs. Um, this is the one I missed and that I didn't explain well because I wanted to show how less than 50% of Nigerians speak English. There are other languages such as Hausa or Yoruba, Igbo, but these are just a few languages. Mainly with 4 or 5 languages, you can be understood well in Nigeria. English is not enough, so this should be taken into consideration whenever selling the product. Okay, I've explained this already, but you have something to read here just in case you want to catch up a bit. Okay, now Nigerians, we need to follow the following pattern when doing negotiations. They need to like us. They need to see our status, educational level. Trusted people need to talk to them. People with understanding. They need to be spoken in the language they understand, and they tend to be direct in the way they communicate, although in the beginning of the negotiations they will not be as direct. They are sensitive with the sense of humor. This means they do not accept sarcastical or cynical jokes, and the presentations have to be attractive. It's important to deal with the manager during the negotiation because they may use the manager as an excuse um, to ask for authority and back down in a negotiation. They could use the good cop and bad cop tactics personal, and they may use personal feelings to appeal to emotion. They can also be distracting during negotiations. That for that reason it's important not to start with your best offer because they will not they will throw many final proposals and they will go back on agreements they made before. So that's why it's important to understand that to every thing, there will be concessions if everything that has been agreed on will be respected. So there's an order in the negotiation. They don't like if we take an attorney. They will not. They will perceive. They will perceive that we don't trust them. And when signing a contract, it's important to understand that flexibility is important if conditions change. They might invite foreigners to events, but punctuality is not key. 15 to 30 minutes uh, of delay is acceptable. Negotiations can be done with individuals or teams, but it's important to maintain these individuals, as Nigerians like the negotiations are in between people are not companies. They trust people more than companies. They like to know about our families and our health situation condition, because they want to know if they're going to be doing business with us for a long time or enough time. Um, okay. Now, the type of government is a federal republic. The National Assembly is where laws are written, and it's supposed to be the most important uh, um, official building of the country. They have several laws: English law from the British Empire, common law for cases in which current law can't resolve, customary law from indigenous rule divided into ethnic, customary law, and Sharia. Sharia is more like a theocratic law. Um, they have some political events since their independence. They have a military regime in 1966 and in 1969, and 1983 to 1989, which means they're young democracy. Nigeria has had 8 coups and only 5 were successful. Corruption is strong. It erodes efficiency in policies. And there's violence, especially in the northwest and north central regions with kidnappings and assassinations. Southeast is a region that wishes a bit of independence and has had some assassinations too. Northeast, Boko Haram operates here, and it has had some violence and 200 abductions. And inflation, since the removal of fuel consumption recently, and the subsidy the subsidy and liberalization of foreign exchange currencies. The liberalization of foreign exchange currencies, inflation has gone up. Okay, so uh, Nigeria is kind of a repressed country or least free. Um, Properties and rights are not doing well. Judicial effectiveness not well. Government integrity not well. As you can see, it's missing in that regard. Um, okay, so you can see you can see here better a comparison with the US. You're going to excuse that it's not fully visible, um, but it's 40 in investment freedom, and financial freedom is almost 45 or 50, and the US here has 80 and 70 sort of, right? So the US is pretty much better in every regard is except for fiscal health. Okay, so Nigeria has four main issues. Getting credit. It's really hard to get credits in this country. There's not much background information about um, the history of these banking companies from recent years. You paying taxes. You need to make 48 payments a year. It takes 349 hours to prepare the payment of taxes. If there are inefficiencies, it takes 2 years to resolve them. Um, and you may recover just 27 or 28 cents of a dollar. So there are big risks of investing in Nigeria. So they will have to be well considered, and it will be very important to make really good friendships. Although it's important to understand that there's one difference between bribery and making friendships. Um, Now, when doing business, you have to go to the Corporate Affairs Commission and give your company a name. You will need a tax identification number, and you will have to follow the Labor Act, and you will also need industrial permits if we are to make a factory of our own products. Okay, audits and inspections will happen. Um, Also, uh, we'll have to send an NDPR yearly. The government can send its own auditors as well, and we'll need permits and licenses, as I've said. Um, Now, foreign participation asks for at least 100 million naira, which is something like 60 or $70,000, more or less. Okay, now interest rates are really high, 27.5%. That taxes are below 25 million, tax exempt 25 to 100 million, 20%. Above 100 million is 30% tax. Custom duties can vary from 5 to 35%. It can be very expensive to import to Nigeria. So, and also we have to fight inflation. Um, Okay, and the Nigeria Free Trade Agreements are the following ones. The African Continental Free Trade Area, World Trade Organization member, which means it will share tariffs with the countries of this organization. African Growth and Opportunity Act, this improved trade with the US. And Nigeria has 31 free trade agreements with other countries, tax treaties with 13 countries such as China, the US, India, and Belgium.